Hey everyone, I'm Elphalis, and welcome back to the PPL NX. We are in Stage 3, which consists of the top 16 coaches based on points we got in Stages 1 and 2. And this stage is a quick draft right into a double elimination tournament to see who gets that top spot. To go over my draft really quick, I started with the second overall pick, and I grabbed Terra Enamorus as my round 1. Stage 3 is high tier Terra, and I thought Enamorus looked like basically the best Terra captain I could find, so I went ahead and grabbed it. This is just a great attacker with amazing breaking power boosted by Terra Fairy, Scarf cleanup potential with Terra Stellar, or just whatever coverage I want for specific matchups. In round 2 then, I grabbed Ogerpon Wellspring. That's right, Ogerpon is back on the team. It's just a nice, no-nonsense attacker and one of the best Pokemon left on the board by the end of this round. I absolutely loved Ogerpon Hearthflame in the last stage, so you know I had to bring Ogerpon back in some way. After that, I actually dipped down quite a bit in points by picking up Blaziken. This is Speed Boost Blaziken for only 11 points, which is pretty crazy to me. I know it isn't exactly a top tier threat, but it's such a huge bargain that I couldn't pass up on it. It's just so threatening in the builder for such a low price tag. And then with all that offense out of the way, round 4 was Jirachi as my utility steel type, and round 5 was Donphan as my bulky ground and hazard remover. Two really good bulky pieces that can help me pivot into my offensive core. After this, I was actually getting worried about my surplus of points, already having dipped down into the mid tiers pretty early, but luckily I was able to snag a round 6 Dragonite, which flashes out my high tier offensive core, as well as a very nice Dragon Fairy steel core. Then, how about a lightning round of low tiers? Alolan Muk was picked up as my dark type, and a nice Spadef tank that I love using in draft. Terra Jolteon brings some much needed speed and special offense to the team. Terra Orthworm provides some budget physical bulk and hazard setting. Clowitzer and Meloetta provide me with some more bulky special offense. And Dusknoir is a budget spin blocker and tank that hits pretty hard for its point value. So that is it for a very quick summary of my draft. I'm pretty happy with it overall, and I'm excited to try it out. Speaking of it, in which we are rolling right into round 1, and for this stage I actually got to pick my opponent to start playoffs because the top half of the seeding got to pick their opponents from the bottom half. Since I ended up seeded at 4th, I got 4th pick of the opponents, and out of all the remaining options, I was most confident in the matchup against. Well, look at that, my finals opponent from stage 2, Nova and the Bermuda Kecleons. And they do have a scary team. All the teams were pretty scary. My choice of opponent certainly wasn't easy, but I think there are ways I can play around this one. Their draft is headlined by round 1 Terrapagos, supported by big offensive threats like the Goldengo, Terra Keldeo, Ogerpon Hearthflame, Terra Hoopa Unbound, and Mousehold. There is a lot of breaking power in each of those threats, featuring several special breakers that can wear down any special walls I want to bring, and an Ogerpon that can hit my entire team for huge damage. But the biggest pain to prep for is Mousehold. It's hard to know how much to respect it, given how easily I deal with it if I actually do bring the prep for it. But my proper Mousehold answers match up just horribly into the rest of that team. Rocky Helmet Jirachi and Orthworm trivialize that matchup in particular, but they're kind of dead weight in the most of the other matchups, so building around this was surprisingly tough. Then of course we do have to talk about my own offense trying to break through my opponent's defensive core. On top of Terrapagos and Goldengo, which are already pretty bulky, they have Hisuian Goodra and Pheasantipede, and Uxie, so they have bulk to work with. Challenging this team with special offense would be very tough. So that is a lot for us to work around, but of course Nova can only bring 6 of them. Part of the reason I like this matchup is that they sort of lack a lot of super high tiers, meaning they can only be so threatening with 6 brings. I'm not exactly sure what those 6 are going to be. If I have to guess, Terrapagos, Goldengo, Keldeo, Ogerpon, and some defensive combo of Uxie, Goodra, and Pheasantipede. But regardless of what gets left behind, there will be some kind of hole that leaves in their team that I can work with. Hopefully. I guess I just described Draft League in a nutshell, but I was thinking a lot about that dynamic leading into this match. So let's talk about what I'm bringing. We're starting out with Alolan Muk, holding an Assault Vest, which is going to act as an important check to Terrapagos and Goldengo, as well as a decent answer to Pheasantipede and maybe Hoopa. Dual Stabs with Poison Jab and Knockoff are actually amazing coverage into my opponent's team, and Drain Punch offers some healing potential, as well as extra damage into Goodra and the normal types. Muk is shockingly hard to switch into, hitting everything pretty hard while spreading poison with Poison Touch along the way. In the last slot I do have Fling, which is meant to prevent me from being completely shut down in case Goldengo tricks me with a Scarf. It might end up being completely filler, but I was satisfied enough with Muk's 3-move coverage that I felt like I could afford the luxury of not having to worry as much about switching into Gholdengo. The EVs with an adamant nature allow me to one-hit KO offensive Gholdengo after rocks, and the rest is pumped into HP and special defense to maximize our special mauling potential. Muk is pretty bulky and it can take a ton of special hits, but with max HP it can also take an Ogerpon Ivy Cudgel and win that 1v1 with Poison Jab if I feel like Ogerpon is a big threat during the battle. So just a really nice bulky offensive piece trying to spread damage around my opponent's team. Next up we have Donphan, which is by far my most likely lead for the matchup. This is a near max attack set with sturdy Custat Berry, meant to hit something hard right out of the gate and then get rocks up before going down. The combination of Earthquake and Knockoff is pretty tough for my opponent to handle unless they bring defensive Electros, and even then I appreciate getting its item out of there. So against most opposing leads, the goal is to have Donphan going down after leaving the opponent with a lot of chip damage and getting rocks up. The main sections are Terapagos, in which we replace a lot of chip damage with just breaking Terra Shell, which is still worthwhile, and Mousehold, which I am EV'd to always live an Adamant Population Bomb from full, but if it goes for Tidy Up first, it would just one-hit KO me without the chance for Custat to proc. Still, that would give me the chance to hit it with an Earthquake, which would leave it in range of other attackers. Next up is Blaziken, which is holding a Choice Scarf in this match. And hear me out on this one. I think in most cases in this match, Blaziken does not get the opportunity to actually set up on anything. There's just too much offense going around. And frankly, there might not even be a need for Blaziken to set up. It looks like it can just break decently well right out of the gate. Instead, this Scarf set bypasses the need for a setup turn to outrun my opponent's entire unboosted team, getting a surprise jump on any Mousehold or Ogerpon that thought they would have a free setup turn against my Protect. The surprise factor of immediately outspeeding and KOing a fast threat is the main reason they went with this set, and we also have a lot of endgame potential as well, with Adamant Flare Blitz in particular looking very spammable. The sole fire resist is Keldeo, which isn't super bulky, and it might even just Terra out of its fire resist, and then defensive Yuxi is also a decent check, but that is subject to getting worn down over the course of the match. Alongside Flare Blitz, Close Combat is the other stab that immediately threatens Goodra and Terapagos. U-turn pivots me out against something I can't KO, such as full health Terapagos or Yuxi, and Brave Bird slots in as super effective coverage against Keldeo and Ogerpon. And even with the Scarf, we still have Speed Boost, which is still massively helpful in a Scarf cleanup endgame. On the first turn Blaziken is out, it just outspeeds everything up through Mousehold, but on turn 2 it outspeeds everything up through +1 Mousehold, aka every possible Scarfer on my opponent's team. So definitely a strong win condition given the right circumstances. Next up, we have a much more conventional set with a Swords Dance Trailblaze Ogerpon Wellspring. Ogerpon is pretty important in this matchup because it can switch into Keldeo's water moves thanks to Water Absorb, and then outspeed and potentially threaten it out. It's also just very good offensively. Ivy Cudgel only has 2 resists, Keldeo, which we can hit with Trailblaze, and Goodra, which we can hit with Low Kick. We can set up Swords Dance on the decently likely switch from Keldeo to Goodra, and just kind of claim a KO from there. If I somehow manage to get a Swords Dance and a Trailblaze up, that could just be game right there depending on what's still around. The EVs on the set are Max Jolly to get the jump on Keldeo and Speed Tie with the other Ogerpon. Next up is Enamorous, using a physical substitute set. This is meant to just get out there and do damage with Terra Ghost to shore up the matchup into my opponent's scary normal types, Terapagos and Mousehold. The offensive combo of Play Rough, Superpower, and Terra Ghost Terra Blast is pretty tough for my opponent to switch into, especially if I manage to get a contrary Superpower boost under my belt. That's why I have Substitute, which eases prediction and puts me into an incredible position if I manage to set it up on a switch to something like Gholdengo or Yuxi expecting Superpower, or Goodra expecting Moonblast. Sub is also nice to stop poison attempts from Pheasantipity or Thunderwave from Yuxi, and it's decently likely that it could take multiple hits from either of these two. I do have to worry about Hoopa's Hyperspace Fury, which ignores Sub, of course, but Hoopa shouldn't be beating this set unless it's Scarf or a very defensive set with a good Terra type. The Mental Herb is specifically there to stop Encore from Ogerpon or Mousehold if they switch in as I click Sub. Those would otherwise completely shut down the set, so I like having that insurance. And then we are max attack on this with Speed for Staraptor. Then finally in the last slot we have Dragonite with a bulky attacker set. We are not using our solid bulk and multi-scale to set up a Dragon Dance suite, but instead leveraging that to check big threats like Keldeo and Ogerpon. On this set, Extreme Speed and Earthquake technically get amazing coverage into my opponent's team, with Extreme Speed looking very helpful in picking off fast threats, but with just those two moves, we are pretty passive against certain sets like Air Balloon Boldengo, Calm Mind Yuxi, or very bulky Ogerpon sets. That's why I have Dragon Tail, which allows Dragonite to switch in and force out boosting threats like Swords Dance Ogerpon, Calm Mind Yuxi, and Acid Armor Goodra in a pinch. I had really, truly debated slotting on Wing Attack instead, since it is my best physical damage into Ogerpon and Keldeo, but that just left Dragonite too passive against anything with a lot of physical bulk. With Dragon Tail as stab, we can at least shuffle the team around and potentially spread hazard damage with Stealth Rock. And Roost in the last slot allows Dragonite to stay healthy and answer threats more often during the game. I am Roselli Berry instead of Heavy Duty Boots. Not running Boost is a risk on this set, but I am hoping to keep them off since their only potential rockers are Yuxi, which Donphan can probably spin against, and Terapagos, and if Terapagos is clicking rocks, I'm honestly pretty relieved that it's not a more threatening setup set. Regardless though, even with rocks up, Roselli makes for a better Ogerpon counter since it would break through multi-scale with Mold Breaker anyway, and KO with a +2 play rough. With the Roselli, I can always switch in on Swords Dance and take that hit even with rocks up, and then phase Ogerpon out with Dragon Tail. The set is adamant with a lot of attack and max HP, with enough speed to get the jump on uninvested Goldengo and Terapagos. That's mainly just for the purpose of being able to pick off defensive Goldengo with Earthquake before it can go for Recover or Thunder Wave. That is going to do it for the team though. It is a unique build this week. We have 0 special attacks anywhere on the team, instead focusing entirely on physical breaking in the hopes that Terra Enamoris at least forces some specially defensive prep. With all that said, thanks for watching the Team Builder, and I will see you all in the battle. Alright, there's Nova. We just exchanged Terra Captains, which includes a little bit of a surprise for me. But hey, here we go. Interesting team. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we start with Mousehold, Goodra Sui, Terapagos, Hoopa Unbound. There were a lot of guys I was not really expecting to see. This is wild. Ogerpon Hearthflame, I was expecting that one. And Yuxi. Alright, well first off there's no Keldeo, which is pretty big. No Goldengo either. That was a big threat to me. So I'm pretty happy about that. I'm not happy to actually see Mousehold. There's the tiniest bit of prep in for it, but oh, that thing is annoying to be looking at. I think Donphan looks pretty great though. Let's see, no Pheasantipity, not really that consequential. Muk is kind of focused then on checking Terapagos and maybe the Hoopa, so we'll see what happens there. Yeah, good luck, have fun to Nova. Honestly, it's so cool that we've made it this far. I will be happy with whatever result. Let's just have a good time, man. Alright, our last battle, which was the last PPL NX battle that I had, was very fun, so I'm looking forward to this. Alright. Maybe a Mousehold lead? Oh, Hoopa U is Terra Ice, by the way. Which, I guess Dragonite is the reason for that. And we see it's a Yuxi lead. Okay. Well, if this sets rocks on me, I can just spin. And having Yuxi chip down is going to be very important for Blaziken, so I would love to get a knockoff first. Let's see. And knockoff's just good into anything, really. The Yuxi could U-turn on me, but and my knockoff will be going into something else, and that's fine. I don't think spinning first has any use, really. It's gonna knock. Okay, no cuss tap for me. And I gonna hits. Let's see what it has. Leftovers. Yeah, that makes sense. So let's just check the calc. See if this is a timid Yuxi or not, or whatever it would be. You know, attack lore. 384 minus 338 is 46 points of damage with a knockoff. Which is, that looks like an attack lowering nature Yuxi. Makes sense. Let's get our rocks up. It's gonna U-turn. So knock U-turn.
Getting rocks up is great. We're gonna see Ogerpon come out. Okay. Yeah, let's get our rocks up. Now I could just bring in Dragonite right now. It is my Ogerpon check. Let's see at Donphan's health. How much can we take a Mousehold hit? Because that could be pretty useful. Population Bomb. Doing 88.5 at most. What am I at? 304 over 384. It would be like a 50-50 roll for me to live. What other uses does Donphan have? Not too much. So it would be worth just staying in. Whereupon Power Whip would obviously take me out. I'll go Dragonite. This is what Dragonite's for. I have the Roselli. Big dingus. Alright. Goes for the Swords Dance. Okay, this was kind of the idea. +2. I would honestly kind of love to have Wing Attack right now. Jeez. But yeah, Dragon Tail. If it's an offensive Ogerpon, should be doing at least 40. Let's see. 40 plus the 25 from rocks. It would then be an E-Speed range, actually. So we're going to Dragon Tail. Force it to switch out here. Look at how low that berry spawned. That was kind of weird. 386, 118. 268. From that player up. Yep. Looks like a roll for Jolly. Looks like Jolly Ogerpon. That was a high roll. We see the Terapagos come out. Is it going to take hazards? Okay, it is the boot set, or a boot set rather. Okay, what can I do about this? The Terapagos could just take me out. It could be Rapid Spinning here, which, like, if I could Dragon Tail that, that'd be pretty cool. What can Dragonite roost on? Honestly, not much. But E-Speed is an amazing revenge turn tool. I think I do need to preserve that. So we're gonna go Muk. Terapagos being boots is great to know about. Here, Starstorm from Timid should be doing... Okay, it's Rapid Spin. Yeah, makes sense. Rocks cleared. Sure. Alright, and let's see what I can click. Knockoff. Very good move into just about anything. Yeah, very good move. Fling's useless. I don't think there's a trick user here. Yeah, let's click Knockoff. They don't switch into this super well. Terapagos could stay in an Earth Power. Yeah, they're gonna switch out. Shelly is... That's a Goodra, right? Yeah. Okay, we get an item off. And it's gonna take that much. It was Weakness Policy. Oh my gosh. Okay. So that did 25, 30, 35 with a knockoff. It's got some defense, I think. Yeah, that's got a pretty nice amount of defense. It's not like max bold or anything, but there's a lot there. It's tempting to Drain Punch, but I think I should probably switch. What's you though? Muk is still very useful for Hoopa and Terapagos. Yeah, we need to be able to tank hits later for those. We also notice not gooey. You know what? Donphan's looking like the least useful right now. So we're gonna try that. I might be coming in on the Earthquake, which is kind of a hope. And that wouldn't do very much. Acid armor. Okay. Got it. Alright. Weakness policy acid armor is crazy. Okay, I have a lot that can beat this thing down. It's weakness policy, acid armor. What do I want to do to this thing? I think I just need to Earthquake. Get the damage I can off. It's in a Draco. Okay, 304 to 19. 5 with the Draco. It's not quite max or anything. Oh, it's got to be the one item, or not item, ability most likely Shell Armor for no crits. Okay. Well, it's not quite max special attack, but there's a lot of special attack and a lot of defense is what I'm kind of coming to. I might as well, like, if I'm allowed to live the turn, I could just get my rocks up. If it, like, acid armor for some reason, yeah, it's my thing. So it has Heavy Slam, Draco, which is at -2, and acid armor, I would imagine Body Press. Okay, so it's kind of low. Let's take a look at something like Blaziken. Blaziken Close Combat, even if it's at +2, does a whole ton of damage, so that's probably my best bet. Close Combat does have a switching, of course. Uxie's the big one. What about Dragonite? Earthquake does not do that much. So I think I do have to go Blaziken. I'm seeing even to like max defense +2 Goodra. Close Combat should be doing over 40. Yeah, and that's at like 20 something. Would Flare Blitz do it? No, actually it wouldn't. So I think I'm forced to CC. This at least gets good damage. Even if Uxie switches in, it's chip. And we're like one step closer to Blaziken just sweeping. I wonder if they're concerned about me setting up here. It is at -2 from the Draco. It's gonna be the Uxie. Okay. I'm a little surprised about that. But you know what? Yeah, I get it. I'm not sure. I'm just not sure like where that Goodra would come into play later. Oh yeah, I forgot to note Goodra, KO, Donphan. Okay, against Uxie, that's tough. I think I go Muk. This is a very clear, like, pivot out, right? But, like, a pivot out to what? Mouse hold, I guess? I guess I'll go Muk. If they pivot out to mouse hold, that's probably worst case because it claims a KO. It's gonna go for Psychic Noise. Oh, neat. Alright, that's perfect. I think I'm gonna go for Drain Punch then. This is solid damage into anything. Yeah. And Goodra's the most likely to switch in as a sack. Which, like, if that's gonna happen, I could try to double, but Uxie has U-turn, so I kind of doubt that's gonna work. I think I just need to take my KO. And then, oh, it's gonna have rocks? Huh. Okay, I think it has U-turn, knock off rocks, Psychic Noise. Interesting. Okay, rocks are actually kind of unfortunate to see go up. Is Dragonite even out of rock range? It is out of Brock's range, at least. That's something. Okay, well, we're gonna knock. I should have done that the first time. Gonna knock off my Assault Vest. Fair enough. Alright. At the very least, we do get this KO. Not Jutsu. Okay. It's Mouse Hold, right? It's gotta be. There it is. Yep, this is the big threat. Alright, so I think to prevent the worst case, which is Tidy Up, I need to Drain Punch into Dragonite E-Speed, right? Muk's Drain Punch surely threatens this enough that it can't Tidy Up on me, right? Muk's Drain Punch does a heck of a lot. Knockoff would also be reasonable. But yeah, Drain Punch simply doing too much for it to set up on me. Muk goes down, which is quite unfortunate for dealing with Dropgus and Hoop Up. But then Blaziken comes in, and I'm not seeing a close combat answer. So that's kind of the play I'm going to go with. I hate to lose Muk, but I think I just have to do it. It could miss. I don't know. That first one crit. 3, 4, 5. Just 5? Yep. This is what I was afraid of with this dang Mouse Hold. It's certainly Wide Lens, right? I'm gonna go Blaziken. It can't be like Sash, come on. And let's see. Everything left actually goes down to close combat. Not goes down, but there's not a switch in here. Nothing takes 2. So yeah, we're gonna CC. If you think I'm protecting, you got another thing coming. No fighting resist left. Dropgus's health is still a problem. Yes! Down with the mouse. Alright. Garth Blaziken, baby! Oh yeah. Alright, I think it's Terrapagus coming in now. Which, I mean, that thing kind of claims a KO as well. But at the very least, it'll claim one, probably on Dragonite. That's going to sack. Blaziken's going to act as a decent revenge killer for the rest of the game. So it'll claim one on Dragonite probably. I can bring in a Namorous on that, and could sub, maybe. I'm more thinking just Terra Ghost superpower though. That is also like very hard for my opponent to answer. I'm afraid the Mental Herb on a Namorous will have amounted to not much, because the Ogerpon looks too strapped for moves to have Encore, and Mouse Hold's down. Ooh, it could spin right now, actually. That would be a little rough. This Tropigus looks set up pretty nicely, unfortunately. What to do? If I'm trying to read a spin, I could CC into it. That feels so risky, though. Although... Oh, man. I think I'm gonna do it. I think I'm the CC. I don't think I can afford to let this thing set up, actually. As great as Blaziken looks, yeah. I mean, that's great chip. Oh, it's a crit, yeah. Okay. It's gonna KO me, probably, but I don't think I could afford to let it spin. It's gonna tear a circle. Yeah, okay. We'll see if I regret that. But I still have a fighting spammer with an Amorous. This is getting crazy. Do I sub with an Amorous? I don't think I can. And I just want to make sure... Blaziken to Terapagos. Shell active, crit, close combat. Yeah, we do that much, that makes sense. And so Enamorous, Superpower to a non-Terra Shell. Superpower does a lot. I think we're good here. The crit was actually pretty lucky, it got it into range. Okay. So, I do think I just have to Superpower. I really doubt they're switching out, right? And we know it's boots, so there's no... It's not taking this, there's no switching. I think I just have to click it. Yeah, alright. Sub was not going to be useful. That's alright. Okay, so Enamorous kills Terapagos. I'm wondering... So I'm at +1/+1 now. Is Ogerpon a reasonable answer? I don't think it's Ivy Cudgel's gonna KO me. If Hoopa comes in... See, that's pretty rough. Hoopa... They also could think that I'm Scarf on this. I haven't shown any item. So they might be reluctant to bring in, like, a Scarf Hoopa, for example. They bring in Ogerpon. Okay. I think this is probably to find out if I'm Scarf. Let's see how much damage I'm doing. I'm at +1. Let's see, standard Ogerpon. 8 is not going to KO me with Cudgel. I have my Ogerpon in the back, that's right. The Superpower should for sure be KOing me in return. Yeah, based on the Dragonite damage. Yeah, it's gotta be Superpower. Cudgel. It's gonna hit me. Not crit. No crit. Great. Alright. And they know I'm not Scarf anymore, so... If they have a Scarfer, they would bring it now, I guess. We'll see if they have it, though. I don't know. If I was Scarf, I think this would have just been a guaranteed game, unless I'm missing anything. But yeah, I do still have to worry about the Scarf. There's the Hoopa. Okay. So, Hoopa... Let's even assume max HP. I'm at +2 now. Superpower, very, very likely to KO, so I might as well go for that. Trying to see if there's anything at all it could do, like priority-wise. I'm not seeing anything. And if it's Scarf... If it's Scarf, that's tough. But there's not too much I can do about that. I just have to go for my Superpower. It's gonna Terra. Interesting. Okay, that might be better. For low kick Ogerpon, I'm not gonna check the weight yet, or the base power of low kick. Let's just see what happens on this turn. It's gonna outspeed. Okay, so it is in fact Scarf. It's locked into Scarf Dark Pulse, so I have a full health Ogerpon. Against Hoopa, you special attacker with Choice Scarf. It's all about whether it can KO me. My low kick my look against Terra Ice super kills that thing. So Dark Pulse definitely doesn't. I'm gonna check Psyshock and Psychic. They both do more, but they're also not KOing. And my low kick to this Terra Ice, it does enormous amounts of damage. We saw Goodra wasn't dewy, but even if it was, it wouldn't matter. It outspeeds anyway. So yes, I will be going for low kick. That definitely picks up 2 KOs if I'm allowed to live against the Hoopa. It's gonna, yeah, you're gonna go for it. Oh, shoot. That's it. Oh, that flinch change was what, like, oh no. That's it. Come on, really the flinch? I mean, yeah, there's nothing I could have done about that. That's a loss. Of course it is. I mean, jeez. I'm salty. Alright, it's fine. It's fine. We'll just, a quick low kick, and, then you speed the Dragonite. Yeah. Ah. Come on. Yeah, I mean, this is lost. Oh well. Man, alright. Well, hey, it's the double elimination bracket, so that's fine. Come on. Look at that. Oh my god, that does so much damage. I'm so mad. Alright. Hey, good game to Novaxblader. It's gonna have to be okay. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, I mean, Scarf Blaziken getting any opportunity that wasn't against that Terapagos. I really should have just sacked Dragonite or something. Oh, man. Although I don't even know when I would have gotten that CC off. Maybe revenging the Ogerpon? Yeah, it would have had to be revenging the Ogerpon. I could have CC'd that. Then I would have been faster than both the Goodra and the Hoopa. Yeah, preserving Blaziken was definitely the correct play in hindsight. But I was just in that situation. I was just too worried about the Terapagos setting up a spin and then like a Calm Mind. Like if I switch Dragonite in on that, like what if it Calm Minds and then Rapid Spins? Like what am I revenging it with? So I think I just had to get that damage with Blaziken. And like if it did spin on that turn, I was in an amazing spot. If it KO'd me like it did, you know, I was able to grab the KO with Mammoth and play that way, which led to the ending that it did. I would have won that if I hadn't gotten flinched, but it's whatever. Alright, you've heard me talk enough, I think. Close one. Yeah. Yeah, we'll see what who we play in the first losers round. So, with all that said, I will see you guys next time.